And spawning. Okay, sorry, I was just responding in the chat, but here we go. We're diving into our second series of the night, into our next TvZ matchup, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of our Kione, we have our Blue Terran player representing his new team, Cloud9. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, currently teamless, deserving to be on the team though. The red Zerg, it is DRG. We go as GuMiho going for the low ground racks. Now, GuMiho has been known quite frequently to go for the racks factory expand, but do we embrace the 2 racks opener? It looks like we will, as the second SCV has arrived. We're gonna be getting into 2 racks Reaper here from the side of GuMiho. The goal for this is going to be to shut down the third base, to contain DRG to 2 bases, to trade against the drones and the queens if possible. That would be the ideal, but for the most part, just contain the Zerg player and delay the third for as long as we can. There are more aggressive variations of this where you can go for a third racks as well. That is true. We could go into a third racks, but this looks like a 2 racks variation. We should be expanding behind this. There should be a CC soon to be on the way. Let's go. Let us go. But yeah, if you just when it comes to other English coverage, I was able to confirm Wardy is going on. He's jumping on Oliveira versus Shin, so he's got another TvZ under his belt. And I just wanted to make sure that we wouldn't like step on each other's toes. We try to avoid each other as much as we can when it comes to covering these events, just because there's only 2 English casters, and the last thing we want is to double up when there are so many games going on and so many matches happening. So we try our best. We try our best to kind of spread out and cover as much ground as possible. That's the ideal. That is the goal. As for now, we do have our CC on the way. So again, just 2x Reaper into a third base. Meanwhile, back at home, DRG going for a hatch gas spool. The first Reaper has arrived. Can we chip away at these Lings? So far, just doing some light damage, some light pressure here. Does slip into the mineral line. We shouldn't get a drone kill. Oh, we do morph in that spore quite quickly. 1 Ling goes down and additional Reapers are on the way. Here we go. They have arrived. They're coming in from multiple angles. We're going for the drones. We don't quite get it. The drone barely does survive. Reaper in the main base is going to evacuate. So Reaper at the natural also backs the hell off as well. And we should be stopping at 3 Reapers. Quickly double checking here. We've gone up to a 4th Reaper. We do get eyes on the third base. Greedy move here by DRG, and can GuMiho deny the third? Behind this, it's going to be a 3rd CC before factory. Very greedy, very economic follow-up. Going straight to that 3rd CC. What does this mean? This means that if DRG responded with a Bane Bust, if DRG responded with aggression, GuMiho would be in a lot of trouble. That's only if that were to happen. As the third base is going to be cancelled. Again, this is all that GuMiho wanted out of this opener. We cancel the third. We contain to 2 bases as long as we can. We keep DRG pinned. At the same time, DRG going for a big link counterattack. There's nothing at home to defend. We got a surround here. We deny Stim. A big pick off by DRG. Stim is denied. Tech Lab is killed. At the same time, we try to collapse on the Reapers, and we do not quite get the surround. We tried to, but the Reapers, they do slip away. Not a single one has fallen. Behind this, Starport in production. Third base about to finish up. Oh, again, 4 Reapers. They pick off more Lings. DRG bleeding out a lot of units here against the Reapers. Not like this. Trying to go for the surround. Trying to collapse on this army. Oh, and it looks like he will finally do so. Yeah, there's no way out here for GuMiho. The Reapers all get cleaned up. And finally, DRG can expand. But this is a late expansion, especially considering how greedy GuMiho was. The 3rd CC is done. It's already morphed into an orbital. And soon to be landed at a location. I say soon because it's a little bit too early. We don't really have much to defend the third base. So we want to saturate our natural first and then float it over. Behind this, we're going for a committed mine drop. Instead of going for reactored Hellions, we're going for reactored Widow Mines. And that is an insanely fast armory. That is for a mine drop. A very offbeat, a very off-timing mine drop. This is what we love out of GuMiho, is that GuMiho is a very unorthodox player. He's very creative. This opener has been pretty standard, is what I will say. But the follow-up, that is not of the norm. Going into a mine drop as a follow-up to a fast third CC, like, that is wild. We are going for it. We did... There we go. I was like, we accidentally loaded up an SCV, but it has been dropped. Has been dropped off. We have a quadruple mine drop moving out across the map. Stim on the way as a follow-up. DRG back at home, going to be droning, trying to stabilize, trying to get back into his 3-base saturation. Queens are amassing. Balian S being thrown down. DRG, he's still behind in the economy. You can see that we're pretty even in worker counts, but plus, if you add mules into the mix, GuMiho, he has the better economy overall. Here comes a mine drop. Not coinciding with anything, it's just a straight up mine drop. The drones are going to be able to react in time. Mine shot goes off. Gets one drone. As we got 3 widow mines in the main base, detection is going to be required, and the shots are going to connect. Ooh, only on Lings. Good reaction here from DRG. Does avert disaster. Shuts down 1, shuts down 2, shuts down almost 3. Yeah, the widow mines, this was not worth it. There was 1 widow mine left here for GuMiho. I'm a little bit concerned it's gonna go off. No! The drones up. Oh my god, we barely do get a kill. The drones, they get the surround, they collapse on that widow mine, they will get the kill. And this was a pretty big investment that did not pay off for GuMiho. That's 4 widow mines for, what, 1 drone, 2 lings, and not much else. As one of the mine shots even was wasted on the gas geyser. Didn't connect with anything. And honestly, DRG needed that. He needed something to go his way after the Reaper opener. So DRG is recovering, getting a 4th base. Meanwhile, GuMiho is getting into a 3-base setup here, going Bio Mine. We are going Ling, Bane, Hydra from the side of GuMiho. Not into Mutas, not into Ultras, just Ling, Bane, Hydra. Very standard setup here from our Red Zerg. So looks to collapse on those Marines. At the same time, on the right-hand side, GuMiho does come in with the drop. He's going for the 4th base. Uh-oh. And DRG, can we hold on? Do we have a transfuse? We do. We have 1 transfuse available, but the queens are exposed. We get 1, we get 2 queens. Good target firing as well. And GuMiho is snowballing out of control. He gets a 3rd queen. It barely lives. The queen lives, but what about the base? What? We have to make a tough choice. Do we lose the queen or the base? We lose the queen. And it looks like we will barely hold on here. The base got so low. We lose another queen. Big mine shot goes off. The hatchery survives on 13 HP. A couple more shots, that would have been it. It may have been even worth it to just sack the Marines. But that was an insane trade. He killed 4 queens. 4 queens, almost killed the base. And he's healing back up. He can go for the dive. He could try to dive on this. The Marines are going to be killed. We have Marines towards the left-hand side denying any other base. 69 lings have gone down. Nice. And that trade was brutal. And DRG, any hope of recovering anytime soon, it's not there. It's not there, not anymore. DRG falling further and further behind. A mine drop's going to be going off. Only connecting with lings. We have 2 more widow mines here towards that 3rd base. DRG, he will evacuate in time. Does avert disaster. Ooh. Mine just going off here. And we do get a good amount of drones. What was that? 3, 4 drones going down. Job coming back in. Oh, and DRG, he cannot lose this base. Not right now. Not after what just happened. We invested so much into saving it. Yeah, the army has to rotate over. We are in position. The problem is it's not going to take much. We can sneeze on the base and it's going to die. Alright, GuMiho. Get your sneeze ready. Yeah. Get it ready, bud. So far, Bailey's they do crash in. Ooh, medevac does get picked up by the Hydras. At the same time, we're pushing on the left-hand side. GuMiho up in army supply. He has numbers on his side. DRG trying to keep up. Can he catch GuMiho off guard? Lings, they come in first round. Good pick up there by GuMiho. Does kite back into his reinforcements. Bailings, they will not connect. And this is a rough trade for DRG. Once again, GuMiho trading very efficiently. Good target firing, good kiting, off of creep as well. Liberator range is on the way. We're getting into lib production. And that hatchery is slowly regenerating HP. It was at 13 HP. Now we're at 68. Almost 60. That was 69. Nice. Very nice HP. Very nice hatchery. Shaking my head. Not nice anymore. It's at 72. GuMiho once again going to be trading beautifully here against these Lings. Ooh, not against the Baileys though, as he's not paying attention because he's focusing on the main army, and he does collapse here on the gold. May have lost an army on the right hand side, but that was not really an army, that was only a drop. His main force, I mean, GuMiho is maxed out. He's maxed out at this point. He's up 70 supply. And again, that's just because of all the advantages. The dominoes are just falling and collapsing one after the other throughout the course of this game. When it came to the opener, when it came to the drop play, when it came to the trades, it's all been adding up. That's why DRG is so far behind, and has been for so much of this game. It's just snowballed out of control. And here we go, GuMiho? GuMiho gonna be rocking up here with his libs. And GG gets called. We don't even get the final fight. The hatchery does live, but the player doesn't, as GuMiho takes game number 1. Ooh, GG. GG, well played. A solid game there out of GuMiho. Again, just almost in full control of the entire game. With that, he takes a lead. He takes a lead in the series. He needs Onomas one more to take it all, to advance on into the next round. And does he have it in him? Can he pull it off? Or can DRG fight back? I'm just catching up with the chat, making sure. Shout out to Green Soup, by the way. Big shout out to Green Soup. For those who are maybe unaware, he's a lovely ESL admin here. Without Green Soup, this event would not be running anywhere near as smoothly as it is. So thank you so much for all the work that you do for esports, for StarCraft in general. Gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you so much, as we are settling into game number 2. Game number 2 of this series, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran, representing Cloud9. It is GuMiho. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the red Zerg player, currently teamless, down in this series, having a hard time in game 1 after having a hard opener, but we'll see if he can bounce back. It is DRG. Go. Oh. As the game is going to be settling into a standard opener, we do have a hatch gas pull by DRG. 2 games in a row, we do have GuMiho going for a 2-Rax Reaper opener. Again, this is not a cheese, this is just a way to gain control early on, and GuMiho was so successful with this in game number 1. If you remember, he was able to get some link kills, he was able to, more importantly, deny the third. We saw DRG being a little bit too greedy, trying to take the third base. He was forced to cancel it because of how many Reapers there were. And even thereafter, the Reapers were doing a great job trading and shaving off ling after ling after ling, being so very efficient. That's the goal here of this opener, is to deny the third. And hopefully this time DRG isn't too greedy and he doesn't try to rush into that third base ahead of time. Usually, once a Zerg player recognizes what's happening, they don't try to take the third at all. They just stay on 2 bases, they just build themselves up, and then take a delayed third in general. Just because if they try to sneak it out, they can be punished for it. But we'll see. We shall see. As we do have GuMiho moving out with his first Reaper. Overlord is not gonna quite be confirming what's happening yet, as we do not go straight for that natural. But the Reaper does rock up. Dancing with those Lings, additional Reapers on the way. DRG, he does prioritize Ling speed. It's already on the way, already in production. And GuMiho doesn't have a drone out for the third base either, so he is already anticipating what's going on. Does put the second Reaper. And DRG is in a much better position. Ling speed almost halfway done, and Queens are amassing. And so far, the Reapers haven't done much. They haven't done much damage here. We can see GuMiho rotating over towards the main. Creep is spreading. Creep is connecting. Oh! As we try to slip into that main base, but again, really good defense by DRG. Now he should be going for the third. As the third base is on the way, but the Reapers are getting to natural. One Reaper goes down. GuMiho overextending. Does overextend, does pay a price for it. DRG now takes his third. And again, this is a much cleaner early game from DRG compared to game number 1. And GuMiho behind this is going into a 3-rack setup. Oh my, okay, this is interesting. I haven't really seen too much of this in quite some time. If you remember, around this time last year, Björn, when he was refining his 2x Reaper, one of the most common follow-ups he would have with his 2x Reaper is to go for a delayed third CC, go for a third Rax instead, and go for a very strong bio push. A ground-based bio push where we build up the Marines, we hit a time with Stim. I believe we would hit before Metavax. We just get across the map, we'd commit, and when we try to trade. There were also 4x variations, if you remember. 2x Reaper into a 4x, which was wild and would quite often win beyond some games until Zerg players figured out how to read it, how to respond against it, how to be prepared. DRG dips in with the Overlord. It is going to be shut down, but he gets eyes on the third Rax as well as the Starport. And it looks like we should be waiting for Metavax. I assumed that we would be hitting before them with Stim, but with this add-on swap, we may as well wait for those Metavax instead. It is going to be a pretty hefty bio army though. It's going to be a lot of Marines. And the Reaper survived as well. So GuMiho is going to be moving out. Meanwhile, across the map, DRG is getting set up on 3 bases. Going to be droning. Queens are amassing. How many queens do we have? We have 7 queens. That's okay. We have 1 in production as well. So I'm a little bit concerned. Basically, DRG, he prioritized 1-1, so he gets really fast upgrades. But what does he sacrifice for that? The lair. The lair is going to be very late for DRG, which means Bailing's speed is going to be delayed for DRG. And that can be dangerous if you're up against a large army like this, just because Bailing's speed and Bailing's in general may be what you need to defend. We'll see if we can get away with it. Bailing Nest now in production, lair now in production. There is a window here where maybe GuMiho can break his opponent as he is moving out. DRG ready for even a counterattack here. There we go. GuMiho is pushing. Got a medevac to support. Here we go. We stim on forward. We're going for the 4th base. We're going to force a cancel. 4th base is canceled. Remember, no Bailings are ready for this. Only Lings and Queens. That's a lot of Marines. DRG, can we hold on here? We do stim on forward. We try to focus down the Queens. They do get a lot of damage done. KDA charge almost working against GuMiho there for a moment. The Lings, they get cleaned up. We dive on top of the Queens, and we will focus them down one after the other. GG gets called. The DRG could not get away with it. And GuMiho, he takes a series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Again, I was very concerned seeing DRG go for the faster upgrades, going for the 1-1, as we saw that timing hit before the upgrades kicked in, and that means that the later Bailing Nest and just the later tech in general wasn't really, or we couldn't get to that. We didn't get away with that either. That engage was just too good from GuMiho. He snowballed out of control. GG, well played. Congratulations, GuMiho will take it in the end. So for those that are curious, the opener that DRG had gone for is typically ideal if GuMiho was going for the build that he went for in game 1. if you remember, in game 1, GuMiho went for a 2x Reaper into a 3rd CC, right? Very economic follow-up, which means his drop play is delayed. Here, it was a 3x follow-up, which was scouted, by the way, by DRG, but it was a 3x follow-up, which is a much earlier push, a much earlier timing, which is why going for something like a double EVA chamber, double upgrade timing is not ideal. It's usually like frowned upon when it comes to like what you can get away with against a more aggressive build, because you are so vulnerable. And GG, well played. Congratulations there. As GuMiho does advance on into the next round to face off against the next opponent, he has an opponent ready and waiting. It is going to be GuMiho versus Creator. Meanwhile, I'm just quickly double checking, trying to see if there's another series ready for us.